Jayalo D.
Hi, beloved. My name is Douglas Chanda, a student IS taking my master's in Old Testament. Within this period of time I've spent in the school, I've come to understand that life is a journey. Everyone in life goes through a journey. You and I are through a journey. Considering what you have been through and what is going through your life and what you are expected to go through, that in itself explains to us that we are all in some period of time facing journey. One of the most breathtaking stories in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 11, from verse 10 to 11, we realize that God is speaking to the Israelites and telling them to have faith and hope. He makes a statement in Deuteronomy chapter 11 verse 10 by telling that the land they're going to live in is not like the land where it was green. Now, if you are to speak and think about that clearly, it tells you that the land probably is less greener. But in verse 11, it tells them that this land drinks water from the rain. And therefore, if this in any way is different from where they have been through, it is clearly to explain that there is gonna be a drift and shift of events. My brothers and sisters, the Bible records that this place they were to go through had a different dimension. It is a land of mountains and valleys. Our God, who is a creator, He is able to take us through the valleys and the mountains. The Israelites had in mind the thought that this God who is speaking to them had been with them through the Red Sea experience. And therefore, when He tells them He will take them through the river experience, they are assured that this Lord is a caring God. As they proceeded through their journey through, something comes into our mind, that this land is not as expected. Why? Because it was not instantaneously green, but with the assurance that God was going to set His eyes on this land. It's simply to say that God cared for His people. How were they to make this land green? The source was to look up to the God who will bring the rains that come from above. The journey might have been so difficult, but the truth is they served a God who was able to make something out of nothing. He was able to bring rains upon the land. He was able to make the lowlands high and the highlands low. God who cares for His people had created. God who cared for His people was sustaining them, and God who cared for His people was able to take them through the journey. I wonder what experience you're going through in your life. But what I want to tell you, my brothers and sisters, that the God who begins is a God who ends, a God who brings you through every experience. He doesn't bring us and leave us along the way, but He takes us to the end. Therefore, He who has begun that good work in you will lead you into the conclusion and completion of the journey. Have the faith and courage that God will always care for you. May God bless you.